Good evening and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV. Tonight is the Bluegrass Cup Series at Auto Club 250, and we're going qualifying. And I'm joined alongside me tonight. I got BJ Duvall and Bryce Hunter. Thank y'all for being here. Congratulations for being here. You made it.
Thanks.
After the night I had last night.
Been here.
After the night I had last night, I'm glad to be here.
All right, we got qualifying going on the board right now. We got Brandon Holder from Mammoth Springs, Arkansas, going down the back straightaway, looking to put down a couple quick laps here, get on the board. You also have Doug Newbegging in the 7 machine. You got James C. Wright in the 14, and then you have Alex Huffman and James Mullins, Matt, and Kyle Hardy. We saw Kyle Hardy last week, BJ, and he was pretty quick.
He absolutely was. A lot of the Hardys are known for the dirt side. We see one of them weekly in our own series. I believe that is the brother of Kyle Hardy, Chase. We see him on the channel all the time. Seeing somebody out here on asphalt is part of that family. You know how much I love that, Steve.
Definitely. You got Mikey Neal Jr. You got Aaron Smith, Michael Sturgill Jr., and Gabriel Ellison all the track right now. Put some time lapse in. And Bryce, you were able to race a little bit last night until you had some hard luck. Tell the people at home how this track is going to feel to these drivers.
So beginning of the runs, they're going to be really loose, especially off turn number 4, especially when they be side by side, because these cars have no side force. And what that means is on the old style of the Cup cars, it had a flared out right side fender. These cars are symmetrical, which means they are straight, which means they are not going to be relying on that extra side force to keep them straight. So these cars are going to be wild loose beginning of the runs. They're going to tighten up like every other NASCAR does. And I'm really excited to see how this bottom line is going to come in tonight. I have some people are telling me that this bottom line is going to be pretty effective tonight. So we'll see how this goes.
Well, looking right now, at the top of the charts is Landon Huffman with a 40.90. Aaron Smith right now second on the board, car number 70 from Hollywood, South Carolina. Then you got Michael Sturgill Jr. in the 17 from Cincinnati, Ohio. Currently, actually, he dropped to 4th because James Mullins goes second quick in that 2 machine. Well, BJ, on the track now, it's Scott Fritz, and he's one of these multi-talented drivers. We saw him run up front, but he also runs dirt.
Absolutely. Scott Fritz proving every single time we see him out that he is a threat on both sides of the sim. And, it takes a lot of doing and a lot of dedication to be able to do something like that.
Definitely, it sure does. As right now, he's, we saw him at Talladega last week. He was strong, had some misfortunes. But last night, he ran up front most of the race. I mean, that guy right there, he has to be ecstatic. But you look right now, he's 12th quick on the board. You got Jason Bridges, Gregory Carico in the 18. And you got Ryan Campbell on the track now. There's Ryan Campbell in the 80 machine. Bryce, you're looking right now at the drivers that are qualifying. Is there anything that stands out to you right now with the drivers?
I'm actually really surprised, but I haven't seen more them pushing the exit on turn 4 and getting the back end loose. I'm really happy with how I'm seeing these cars handle turn 4 right now. A lot of them were complaining how when they did their hot laps in practice, how they're losing their rear off of 4. So I'm really happy to see they're not these cars are actually staying still on the exit here.
All right. As Hoffman, Mullins, and Smith, Fritz, Sturgill, your top 5. Then you got Alex Hoffman, Cogswell, Holder, Hardy, Grenier, your top 10. Then you have Farmer, Ellison, Seawright, Pick, Newbegging, and Zimmerman Neil Jr., Abbott, and Terry. So far, the 19 drivers who have qualified so far. As we're looking at Ryan Campbell as he comes across to make his first time lap. He will go 20th quick on the board. Now you see the car number 24. That's Steve Tucker from Boston.
Looking at the points going into tonight, out of our top 5 in the points, Landon Huffman, our current pole sitter, sits in 4th. This good start for his night. Could be just what he needs to rocket himself forward in the points, get that points lead, as everybody is still very close in the points. Separated in the top 5 by just 10 points, and that 10 points, Steve, very easily could come in the stage break.
It definitely could. I mean, that can make you or break you. I mean, Bryce, the stage points, I mean, at the end of the season, that's when it really matters with these stage points, right? When they go into the final stages.
Oh, absolutely. Stage points here are absolutely crucial. Again, if you finish first in the stage, you get 10 points. If you finish 10th in the stage, you get 1 point. So the furthest you get up in the ladder, the more points you get, and all that accrues up to your playoffs. So the more points you can get in the regular season, the more better off that you are set up for the playoffs.
All right. As you look at the 80 machine, that is Ryan Campbell. He's currently 15th on the board. Casey Barlow now coming on track in that 25 from Salina, Kansas. And BJ, you know, last week we was able to talk to this guy.
Yes, we were. Casey Barlow finishing in. Let me look here so I don't get my facts wrong. Well, actually, I don't see it there. It was not where I thought it was. Casey Barlow, we got to have a chat with him at the end of a stage break, if I remember correctly. Running good for part of the night and finished somewhere around mid-pack, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe he was involved in one of the big ones, one of the wrecks last week. But
Yes, he was.
you look at Chris Muth there, Jr. on the track from St. Petersburg, Florida. Car number 3. That's a nice looking car there. Kind of stands out, that red.
Something about those really nice, clean paint jobs. Doesn't have a lot going on, just a nice, solid color with a little bit of decal like that there has on the bottom. It just looks so good on these new Cup cars.
Frankie Barroso there in the 12 machine on track now. Looking to make his first time lap. So, Bryce, when you're in the car, let me ask you this real quick. Sorry, BJ. Didn't mean to cut you off there.
Good.
When you're in the car after qualifying, waiting for it to start, talk to us about the nerves that these drivers go through. How nerve-wracking it is.
It gets pretty nerve-wracking, especially if you're not very comfortable with how the car feels on a long-run speed, and you haven't really felt what it's like to be next to somebody, especially on a restart here. These restarts tonight are going to be so fanned out and so crazy tonight. I expect we're going to have a lot of spins, and that makes a driver very uncomfortable at the beginning of a race. And I truly expect that these nerves on these drivers are probably going through the roof right now, especially toward the middle, the end of the pack. Up front, you might be okay, but the middle to the back of the pack, your nerves you'll be shaking at this point.
Well, you look right now, Frankie Barroso there in 7th in that 12 machine. Had a good little qualifying run. BJ?
Barroso coming in with his qualifying lap. He's going to land himself in 7th position. Our top 5 right now, as we're nearing the end of qualifying, is going to be Landon Huffman, James Mullins, Aaron Smith, Scott Fritz, and Michael Sturgill Jr. sitting in our top 5 right now. As we've got, I believe, right around 30 seconds left in qualifying. 15 seconds left in qualifying. Our field is going to pretty much be set where we're at. We have about 3 drivers that have not taken times out of Peyton Strickland, Nicholas Noggle, and Ryan Joyner. Ryan Joyner currently unable to take a lap time. Bryce, you had a little more information on that?
Yeah, Ryan Joyner is currently on probation, so he will not be able to turn a lap, and has been requested to not go in detail on why. So he is on probation. He will not be allowed to qualify.
Unknown. I love those sticky situations. All right, there's your results on the board. Huffman, Mullen, Smith, Fritz, and Sturgill, your top 5. And you ready? It's time for tonight's Auto Club 250 starting grid. And on the pole, it's Landon Huffman with a Matthew Beeman driving car number 40 to his outside. He hails from the Mid-South. And car number 2 is James Mullins.
Inside row number 2 from Satellite Racing Team, it's going to be Aaron Smith in the 70. And to his outside from T-Berry Motorsports, in the number 1, it's going to be Scott Fritz.
Row number 3, Bryce, you can take that one away.
All right, in row number 3, we got Michael Sturgill Jr. in the number 17 car and Jason Bridges in the 34.
Row number 4 from the Texas Family Racing, car number 12 is Frankie Oroso there, and to his outside, Elite Motorsports, car number 4, Alex Huffman.
Inside row number 5, it's going to be Jonathan Cogswell from Indiana in 27. To his outside, it's going to be Glovebox Motorsports number 31, Brandon Holder.
Starting in 11th, we got Kyle Hardy in the number 99 machine, and in 12th, we got Mike Grenier in the 15th machine.
All right, roll it off 13th tonight. From the Mid-South, car number 84 is David Farmer to his outside. Also from the Mid-South, car number 77, it's Gabriel Ellison.
From Syndicate Racing, it's going to be Casey Barlow on the inside of row number 8 in the 25. And to his outside, from Matthew Beeman driving, it's going to be James Seawright in the 14.
From Glovebox Motorsports, we got Ryan Campbell in the 80 machine, and we got from Matthew Beeman driving, we got Garrett Pick in the 44.
Rolling off 19th tonight is Doug Newbegging in car number 7. To his outside is Brandon Zimmerman with the Lucky Ducks, car number 20.
Inside row number 11 from Luminescence Motorsports, it's going to be Michael Neal Jr. in the 8. To his outside from Virginia's, it's going to be Gregory Carico in the 18.
In the 48, we got Mo Abbott, and then in the 13, we got Brian Terry.
Rolling off 25th tonight, the Texas Family Racing, car number 24, Steve Tucker. And to his outside is Chris Muth Jr.
Inside row number 14 from Ryan Joyner Racing, it's going to be Ryan Joyner in the number 47. To his outside, in the 41 from Matthew Beeman driving, it's going to be Peyton Strickland. And rounding out your field from our friends in the North Canada, it's going to be Nicholas Noggle in the 08.
Fun fact, he is the only Toyota in the field tonight.
Ah.
I like his decision.
All right, pace car is pulled off into the infield. And Mullins brings us to the green flag. Mullins and Huffman. Good start there, side by side. Down the front straightaway into turn number 2. Landon Huffman in the 40 machine, leading the field out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway.
Landon Huffman up on the outside. You see the 2 car. That's going to be James Mullins. Going to take a look to his inside, trying to get the dig on the inside on the entry. Landon Huffman stays up high, showing respect, giving way. Aaron Smith is going to be going right along with Mullins, moving himself into the second position.
Well, Bryce, you look right now, the top 3 start to pull away from the field. Scott Fritz in that 4th position in the 1 machine. Then you have Bridges and Sturgill Jr. there, 5th and 6th.
Yeah, it's a really good run by the top 3 so far. The number 2 looks like he's going to get the edge off of turn 2 here. The 40 is going to get a little bit of a run on him. I don't expect a big push here, but I do expect him to maybe make a little move on the inside if the number 2 didn't block him there. It looks like he will.
As he does a little bit now, the front 4 single filed out. Then you see the 17. That is Sturgill Jr. Bridges still battling side by side. Then you have Hoffman and Holder. That's 7th and 8th on the board. A little further back. They're a little bit more racy.
Yes, they are running 2 and 3 wide back here for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and even 8th position right there in the mix in the number 44 on the...
We got a wreck on the backstretch. The 4 is around. We got one in the wall. We got multiple cars collected up in the back.
The first caution of the night coming out early compared to the other 2 series throughout the week. Let's take a look at our instant replay. Oh, the 44.
Looked like the 44 might have had help or got loose off of turn 2 going down into the infield as he corrected and came up the track, collected several other drivers with him. Tough break for several drivers involved there.
Let's take a look back a little further than where that started.
Looks like it started when all the drivers are going to go 4 or 3 wide on the exit of 2 here. It looks like the 44 tried to get, I don't know if he tried to draft or try to make a move on the 4, but definitely hooked him and definitely took him to the wall.
You know, we're seeing shades right there of what happened last week at Texas between our number 47 Tesla machine. He is not... he is here. That was Ryan Joyner last week. We saw him go dive to the inside of our leader at the time, took the air off the back spoiler of the car and caused that car to wash up. Looks a lot like what happened here.
So we see Barroso involved, Cogswell involved, Terry involved. A lot of good drivers. See right? Well, not something, you were involved in the wreck last night. That's not something you want to see this early in the race, Bryce.
No, not at all. There's a lot of heartbreak going on in these drivers right now. They've worked all evening, and a lot of them practiced a lot of this week. And now that their nights are ruined, a lot of front end damage. I bet you a lot of motors are going to be damaged here. So they have a long race just to ride around, and I feel for them.
Definitely. Right now, James Mullins, Landon Huffman, Aaron Smith, Michael Sturgill Jr., and Scott Fritz, your top 5.
Absolutely. And a little fun note here. If there is an incident within the first 10 laps of the race, the cause of the accident will be on probation for 2 weeks. Throw a little wrinkle in there for you.
Oh, I thought you was going to tell me we start all over.
Well,
I bet some of these drivers would want that.
Right? All right, as we're under caution for the first time tonight, the cautions are brought to you by Blanchard's Towing. Give them a call at 207-817-0105 for all your towing needs. Give them a call. All right. Well, guys, while we're under caution, I sent you a little something. Make sure to check that out.
Yes, that is very helpful. Thank you very much, Steve.
Mullins, your race leader in the 2 machine. You see the lights are still on the pace car. Let's see if they'll turn off this time at the line. And they do. They're doubling them up, and we'll go back to racing out of turn number 4. Mullins and Huffman on your front row. Sturgill and Smith in row number 2. Row number 3, you'll be Fritz and Holder. Then you have Jason Bridges and Ryan Campbell. Mikey Neal Jr. and Kyle Hardy in row number 5.
Mullins going to do something we've not seen all week long in the Truck and Xfinity cars. Mullins is going to pick the inside. In this series, the leader does have lane choice inside or out, and we've not seen a leader restart on the inside at all in the Trucks or Xfinity. But Mullins is going to throw a wrench in the works, and he's going to go at it tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I bet you this bottom line here, he'll get a good run, but that outside lane is going to come and get him, I bet you, real quick.
It definitely could. You see these drivers going down the back straightaway. The anticipation, you think the start of the race is high intense. What about the restarts?
after the initial start of the race, drivers have figured out what they've got, what they can do a little bit more. They're going to have that chance now to go at it a little bit harder, get a better start than what they did on the first one. Maybe with any luck, know when the leader's going to go a little bit better and try to stick right up there on their back bumper.
All right, Bryce, go ahead and bring us to the green.
All right, pace car pulls off, waiting for the leader to take the green here. They're in the restart zone, and they're off. It looks like I can't really tell who this is. I am so sorry. The leader takes the.
It's Mullins, James Mullins, in the 2 machine.
I am sorry, Mullins. Mullins takes the green flag and dives down into 1. Looks like there's a battle for second place here between Landon Huffman and Aaron Smith. Looks like Aaron Smith is like he can take the lead here off of 2. Well, in second place.
Smith goes into that 3rd spot there. Now you look at 2 wide battle. That's for 4th and 5th on the track. Sturgill Jr. and Holder. Brandon Holder in that 31 on the inside. Michael Sturgill Jr. in the 17 on the outside. Oh, we got one crossed up in front of us, and he does he say? Oh, there's a couple of them. There's Mikey Neal Jr.
That's what I'm talking about. Turn 4, it's going to be really sketchy on restarts here. You see how they got loose on exit. That's what their drivers are talking about on practice.
Well, the caution out again. The Blanchard towing caution. As we see Brian Terry. You see one in the wall there. Oh, Brian Terry. Hard into the outside wall.
Yeah, it looks like he got loose and tried to catch it, and it shot him into the wall. With this new rack and pinion steering, it's a lot harder to save these cars. And when you try to save it, usually they snap, and that's how he went to the wall here. See him starting to get a little loose here. Back end started kicking out, and he catches it right there, and you see it going straight up into the wall. That's the beauty of this new rack and pinion steering these new cars have. A lot from different than what the old generation NASCAR Cup cars have, and that's the that's what I'm looking for here. That's the bad part about it.
You know, Bryce, I can't help but wonder. You see him, he lifts off the throttle when he sees the car up in front of him get loose and recover. Can't help but wonder if that didn't shift the weight to the nose of that car. I've seen it happen a lot. Shift the weight to the nose of the car, grabs grip to the front, lifts the weight off the rear of the car, and causes the back end to break loose.
Yeah, absolutely. He probably was already on the binders and trying to slow the car down because he was already loose. But when he put it extra force down on the brakes, that probably helped him going to the wall for sure.
Well, under caution for the second time here for the Auto Club 250. It's the Bluegrass Cup Series live on Ultimate Dirt TV. Well, Bryce, we're glad to have you for the second time this week. You were joining us on Monday night, had some fun, and you accepted the offer to come back with us tonight.
No, absolutely. I had a blast on Monday, and figured I'd give the Cup cars a try. And these guys have not disappointed so far. I watched the Talladega race last week, and man, I'm really impressed to see how they drive this new car, and I'm excited to be in here. Thanks for you again for the opportunity.
Yes, sir. As you see Brian Terry down pit road, Matt Greener there in the 15 down pit road. Landon Hoffman is leading with James Mullins, Aaron Smith, Michael Sturgill Jr., and Scott Fritz, your top 5. Brendan Holder, Ryan Campbell, Jason Bridges, Brandon Zimmerman, Kyle Hardy, your top 10.
Going on down with the rundown, you got Casey Barlow, Douglas Newbigging, Chris Muth, Peyton Strickland, Gary Carrico, Alex Huffman, Mo Abbott, David Farmer, Steve Tucker, and Gabriel Ellison, your top 20.
All right.
Lights are still on the pace car.
So, Bryce, a quick little question here. The little gift I sent you, does it help a little bit?
It does. Got it finally figured out. I kind of had it. I clicked back on iRacing, and it put it all behind it. As you said, take it here. So I was like panicking and trying to commentate at the same time. I got it all figured out. We're good now.
I find sometimes it helps if you open it on your phone instead.
Didn't think of that.
But again, Blanchard's Towing, your caution sponsor. The lights go out on the pace truck. We're going back to racing out of turn number 4. And Hoffman, in the 40-year race leader, chooses the inside. I'm sorry, Mullins, your race leader, chooses the inside. So that's the second driver's chosen inside.
No, Mullins is in the 2-car on the outside, actually.
Huffman's your leader, though. That's who I meant.
Yes, Huffman is on the inside.
Yeah, your race leader.
I expect the inside line here is going to be the preferred line on all the restarts here. And because in practice, a lot of them are running their long runs on the inside here.
Looks like they're going to wave off the green flag. Lights came back on the pace car.
Down the back straightaway. These cautions, you think you're going to agree, they delay it for another lap. They get to take another big, deep breath before the excitement continues.
You know something else this does, Steve?
What does this do?
Takes one more lap away of green flag racing to the stage. That means these drivers are going to be fighting even harder, heading for that stage break in right about 15 laps.
Ah. That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. These drivers are going to be pushing it here on every restart, especially this one. I expect a good run here. Usually these cars, you take about, 10 laps before they start getting in a groove, and these drivers start figuring out what their car likes and doesn't like here. I expect them to have a green run here.
All right, this time the lights do go out. Double filed, we'll let them loose. There's a good look at Landon there. Well, nice looking helmet, huh?
That is a very nice looking helmet. I am not used to seeing nice graphics on a helmet. I wonder if they get that from Trading Paints.
Lewis Hamilton will be proud.
Right.
Well.
However, it is kind of weird seeing a Mercedes logo, I believe, on a Chevy, so.
Yeah. Huffman is in fact in a Chevy. Confirmed. It is kind of weird. How about Ryan Joyner back in the back driving a Tesla on a Ford?
Yeah, I mean, I do have to say though that is a really clean paint scheme. It is probably one of my favorites. Not gonna lie.
The Tesla?
Yes.
Looks like he's already pulled it in the pits actually. Other than that.
All right, the pace car will make that left-hand turn. Huffman and Mullins bringing the field down to the green. The 40 machine gets a good start. Huffman in that 40. Second place right now is James Mullins. Aaron Smith in third in that 70 machine. As you see the two of Mullins, he'll come down in front of Smith there. Sturgill Jr. in the 17 on the outside momentarily. He'll fall in line down the back straightaway. Then you have Scott Fritz directly behind him.
Scott Fritz sitting in that 6th position. He's fallen back a couple spots, Steve, from the start of the race. That's not something we've been seeing out of Scott Fritz every time we see him out on track. We've got cars all over the place right now.
And that's something that, they were talking about, has been talked about. That treacherous turn number 4. Bryce, you've mentioned it several times tonight. It's caught some people.
Absolutely. These drivers, they're going to be battling that turn 4 all night long, especially on cold tires, on free starts when they come off pit road. That turn 4 is going to be all over them all night. These drivers are going to need to be pay attention on that. They're going to pay attention to what their car is going to do. And they have to be patient on that throttle. Gun it too early, this car is going to go around every time.
Surprisingly, we see everybody out of that recover their car and keep it going in the right direction. Caution does not come out. Well done by all drivers involved.
Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to crank it up for... At the start-finish line, we'll crank it up for one whole lap, BJ. This was kind of fun, something we did last night. We can do it again tonight. As right now, James Mullins, your race leader in at 2, the Frosted Flakes Kellogg sponsor machine there. As now we'll do the crank it up segment. All right, Mullins leading lap number 16 as they're on lap number 17 right now. BJ, I mean, so far we've seen some good racing. Only 2 cautions plagued the race so far. It was an instant on the back straightaway and one on off of turn number 4 as these drivers has single filed out. You see the little couple 2 wide action a little further back in the pack. But look at Mullins and Smith. They are starting to pull away from Huffman.
Yeah, surprisingly, surprisingly, we're not seeing what we saw last night with one driver able to pull away. The draft seems to be a little bit stronger in these next-gen Cup cars as what we've seen in the Xfinity and Truck Series the last couple nights. A driver is able to stay with the leader this time. The last 2 nights, Steve, we were watching the leader pull away, which I did not expect at a draft-heavy track like this.
Definitely not, Bryson. Tell the audience how that actually works.
Okay, so these new cars, they have under the car, they have a thing called a rear diffuser. F1 cars have them, your endurance cars have them. What that does, it cleans up the dirty air behind the leader, so it allows these cars in second and behind the leader, behind the cars, allowed to stick with them and pull up to them and make a cleaner pass. And that's basically what the purpose on that rear diffuser is. Because last year, we got trouble in turn 1.
Scott Fritz and the 80 of Ryan Campbell bringing out the 3rd caution of the night.
Hard hit into the outside wall. Looked initially as though the 80 came across the one machine. We'll take another look at it here. Looks right there as though Scott Fritz in the number 1 machine starts to come down off the wall in the 80 car. Just not given the room that Fritz was expecting there.
Heavy contact, especially of Ryan Campbell going around and around.
Yeah, absolutely. These cars are going to be pretty much no contest the rest of the night. This track's too air dependent for them to be in the contest, unless they get majority of the damage repaired. But man, that's a lot of damage on that one car.
Well, Bryce, you would know better being a participant in the league. Did they allow quick repairs in this series?
No, there is no quick repairs in this series whatsoever. They used to be, but it caused a lot of issues, so they decided to get rid of them a couple years ago, and I think it made the racing a lot better.
Definitely the caution is out, and, you know, BJ, why don't you see if you can get one of those drivers for an interview, Scott Fritz or Ryan Campbell.
Alrighty.
Meanwhile, while he's doing that, James Mullins, your race leader, and Aaron Smith in second there. Those two have really been a class of the field so far, Bryce. at the early stages. Last night we saw some people that were really dominant over the first half of the race. But it was at the end, the surprises.
The surprises will always come at the end, but it's always good to see these drivers who know what they're going to do, and they try to execute early and try to get that track position, but most of the prizes will come later on in the race, I guarantee it.
So the caution came out, you was explaining. Yes, BJ?
I was going to say I've caught up with Ryan Campbell, the driver of the number 80, involved in that caution. Ryan, what's your take on what happened in that caution there?
We were running side by side going into one, and I was running four seam. Got me outside, obviously, in the fifth seam up against the wall. And I don't know if he turned down faster than I did. I thought I was making my way down towards the third seam. I just think he anticipated that I was going to be a lot lower than I was, and I think he turned down into me. At least that's how race control called it. So that's what I'm sticking with. That's what scared me. I can tell you that. I wasn't expecting it.
Do you think that you'll be able to get enough repairs done to that number 80 machine to get back out there on the track, or do you feel that your night's pretty much over?
I got 3 minutes of repair. That's gonna hurt it quite a bit. I haven't checked. Let's see here. So I'm about 25 RPM shy of full power. So my race is pretty much over. That 25 RPM is gonna hurt. But yeah, I'm gonna get as much of it fixed and stay out there and just try to make as many spots as I can.
Alrighty, well, good luck to you. We'll let you get back at it. That was down in Syndicate, correct?
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have fun.
Alright. Thank you much for chatting with us.
All right, the lights, I believe, are back on the pace car. Am I seeing that correctly?
I'll tell you in just a second. Nope, the lights are still off on the pace car. We are going to be going green this time.
All right, James Mullins and Aaron Smith. Mullins on the inside, Smith on the outside for this restart. And Bryce, why don't you bring us to the green?
All right, as the field enters turn 3, getting ready to take the green here. It looks like we got James Mullins would be on the inside. That's what line he's chosen. That line's going to be so crucial here on all these restarts on these next-gen cars. They like to wrap the bottom here. And it's like we're waiting for the pace car to peel off to pit road, making that dip, that left-hand turn. As it does, the field is waiting in the hands of James Mullins, the number 2 car. And it looks like we're green. James Mullins pulls out, gets a great jump on Aaron Smith, as he can have a clean entry into one. He's going to stay low here. He might go up high. Looks like he will. Then he's going to wrap that bottom. He's going to scoot away. It looks like they're too wide behind him with the 70 and the 40. Looks like Landon's going to surrender that position to Aaron Smith as they're going to battle off a 2.
Down the back straightaway. Smith on the outside. Now you see Landon, he'll pull Duck right behind Smith. Then you got Brendan Holder, Doug Newbigging, and Michael Sturgill Jr. in 6th. Then you got Alex Hoffman there in 7th, Peyton Strickland, and you got Jason Bridges and David Farmer, your top 10. You look mid-pack, it's really exciting, 3 wide. And also for the race lead, we have a battle with Smith at the line with Mullins to his inside.
Aaron Smith getting that run to the outside. The end of the stage is coming closer. 2 to go right now to the end of stage number 1. Aaron Smith falls back, lets Mullins back up in front. Oh, look now, but here comes Landon Huffman back up behind Smith. He's going to think better and back off. They're going to stay single file coming around to the stage white flag. Smith's going to look up high again off of turn number 4.
Well, I'm showing the stage break at 30.
Stage break is at 25, lap 25, and lap 50.
All right, so that's kind of, it needs updating than what I have. Y'all are lucky. See there, y'all got the lucky stuff, and I get the leftovers.
See, the funny thing about that is I got the one that you sent me.
Well, then I'm looking at the wrong one that he sent me.
Well.
James Mullins out front Here to complete lap number 25, Huffman in second, Smith in third. As they come across the start-finish line, caution is out, the stage is ended. Give that one to James Mullins. Huffman, Smith, Holder, Newbigin, your top 5. Alex Hoffman, Sturgill, Farmer, Strickland, and Hardy, your top 10.
Each one of those drivers there in the top 10 just mentioned will get stage points, starting from 10 points with James Mullins, going down by 1 point for each driver on down through.
Well, BJ, why don't you see if you can catch up with our stage winner?
Luckily, Race Control has already confirmed it with his crew that we can get him, so as soon as I find him, I'm going to bring him up here.
All right.
I'm really impressed with Doug Newbegin's run so far. He's up 14 positions. Same thing with Peyton. He's up 19 from the start.
Yes, Peyton and Doug have been really strong in this first segment here.
And speaking of strong, we have caught up with our stage winner, the number 2 machine from Phantom Motorsports. That is going to be James Mullins. James, congratulations on your stage win. That playoff point and them 10 extra points, they're going to go a long ways here for you in this season, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to try to win as many stages as I can. I want to win as much as I can too, but I think them stage points are going to go a long way.
Number 2 machine's been strong all night since the start of the night. You've led the most laps so far, I do believe, in that number 2 machine. What's your game plan going in to the remainder of the race here?
Keep the right rear on it. It's really skatey center off, and 4, like center off 3 and 4. So be easy on the right front and 1 2. So it's kind of 2 different ends of the track, drive 2 different ways.
Do you feel like the car's getting better over long runs, or do you feel like it's going away from you?
I slid through my bits. I don't know. It feels like it might get a little bit better. It feels like it might tighten up a little bit in 3 and 4, but not much.
Alrighty, well, we will let you get back at it. Thank you very much for chatting with us. Congratulations again on your stage win.
Thank you, man.
All right, Gabriel, off the track first, out of the pit road. BJ, why don't you see if you get in contact with Gabriel?
Gabriel Ellison. Alrighty.
He gained 13 positions from the start there.
Yes, he did. He came off pit road. You look at his car. He has some damage on that nose. That's really going to hurt him at the start on this restart here.
Oh, absolutely. That damage on his front nose is going to he's going to push that air, and he's not going to go anywhere on this restart. He might be able to get a little bit, but as soon as he gets that clean car behind him, catches him, that clean car is going to pass him in a heartbeat.
Definitely. As you see, Doug Newbigin coming out second out of the pits. Michael Sturgill Jr., Kyle Hardy, and Aaron Smith, your top 5. Gregory Carico, David Farber, James Mullins, Brandon Holder, and Landon Huffman, your top 10.
Alright, and I have caught up with the driver of the number 77, Gabriel Ellison. We see him going down pit road here. Gabriel, not to throw you under here, but what's the story behind that?
Well, I usually run the number 27 in most leagues I run, so I drove right past my pit box and I just missed it. I drove into the 27 pit box and it's like 3 or 4 up, so I'm just an idiot and missed it. So to the back of the field I go.
Oh man, looking good to restart up front. And
Yeah.
Just made a I'd call it a rookie mistake, but that's an understandable mistake. I did a similar thing in a series that I race in because I'm used to running number 32, and in a series I couldn't get it, so I'm 85. So
Well, it wouldn't be the first. That wouldn't be the dumbest thing I've done in here. So I mean, it's all right. Long race. I think I got decent pace. I'm just going to try to keep the wheels under this thing, and hopefully we can get it back through there.
All right. Good luck, sir.
good luck.
Appreciate it.
What channel do I got to take you to? I don't forget.
Lucky Ducks.
Lucky Ducks. All right.
Appreciate
Thanks for chatting with us.
All right. Doug is going to bring us to the green as lights are off of the pace car. Go ahead, Bryce.
All right, as we're waiting for the pace car to take that left turn and dive down pit road, looks like we got the first spot. We got Doug, who towards the inside line here. Again, that line is going to be so crucial in the restart here. And we'll wait in the fields in the hand of the number 7 car as he pulls away. Gets a great jump on the 17 of Michael Sturgill. Is going to clear him by the start-finish line. That might be close to changing the lane there. Race control might have to watch that. And it looks like he's going to make that clear and dive down into turn 1, make it nice and easy. We got a battle for third place. Maybe go 3 wide with the 84 on the inside. We got a battle between the 99 and the 70. That they're going to battle off of 2 here.
Cal Hardy in that 99 machine on the inside of Aaron Smith on the 70 on the outside as they go down the back straightaway into turn number 3. And look at the car right behind him. I believe that is David Farmer on that outside. That car was boogity. Oh, we look at it. We got a couple around on the out of turn number 4. Brandon Holder into 31. Brandon Zimmerman. Whew.
That's what I'm talking about. New tires, turn 4. It's going to be a doozy every restart.
How crucial is it, Bryce, for these drivers to take their time on these fresh tires and get some heat into it?
It's absolutely crucial. As you can see, the more you push on new tires and cold tires, the more problems you're going to have, especially with the car snapping loose like this off turn 4. They were complaining about it all practice long, and looks like they're having problems here in the race too.
Well, we're on board with James Mullins. And, you know, we go back and look right ahead of him. You see that one car gets a little dicey. You got to wonder if he reacted a little too quickly there, and that's what caused him to lose it.
Very, very possible. Mullins has been strong all night long. This is going to be a huge blow to that number 2 team trying to get their way up through the field.
He's lucky he got in the grass there. He might have to come down pit road and get 4 new tires because he slid on them like that. But luckily, they're not like real NASCAR where if you slide on them, they go flat. So he's like he is coming down pit road, getting 4 fresh tires here.
Well, definitely. I mean, not the way you wanted to end up on the restart, but hey, at least he has those tires. He has plenty of time to rebound back up through the field. As Doug Newbegin is your race leader, Michael Sturgill Jr. and Aaron Smith, your top 3. Kyle Hardy in the 99, currently running 4th. David Farber, Peyton Strickland, Gregory Carrico, and you got Lyndon Hoffman, Steve Tucker, and Jonathan Cogswell, your top 10.
And out of those top 10s, Peyton Strickland is our biggest mover, not just out of the top 10, but out of the entire field. He's up 22 positions into that 6th position in that number 41 machine.
As you look right now, Bryce, you see damage on the front of that 41 machine. But not bad, running 6th.
Now, as long as he stays behind the car in front of him, which cleans up the heavy air, he'll be fine. He's like basically drafting with a little bit front end damage at Talladega and Daytona. As long as you have a little bit and it's not going to become a parachute on you and you stay behind someone able to draft, he'll be fine. But as soon as he gets out in that clean air and gets up front, he'll might start feeling a little bit difference in that drag. But if he stays behind someone like this, he'll be fine.
And also, don't forget, Blanchard's Towing is your caution sponsor. Give them a call, 207-817-0105 for all your towing needs. So, Bryce, you needed towing, you know who to call.
Absolutely, and I definitely called them last night.
And don't feel bad, Bryce. I've been there a lot myself, and Steve might not admit it, but he has too.
If you're a sim racer, we've all been there.
What? Oh, as the lights are off of the pace car, we're going to let him loose back out of turn number 4. You're watching the Auto Club 250, the Bluegrass Cup Series, live on Ultimate Dirt TV. It's simulcast on DirtFan.com. the Bluegrass Facebook page, the Bluegrass YouTube, Ultimate Dirt TV, Facebook and YouTube, and several other platforms. Make sure to give a like and follow and share out the broadcast. We sure do appreciate you tuning in tonight.
Broadcasted all over the place. There's no excuse to miss this fantastic racing we've got going on here tonight. And 3 nights a week, Steve, we have the Bluegrass asphalt side of things. And 4 nights a week, we have Bluegrass in general with late models on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Well, they did complete their season this past week. Like they've taken a little time off. We'll be back with them on Thursday nights for a new season. Well, Doug is bringing us to the green flag as the pace car is pulled in. We're back under racing here at Auto Club. This time, Doug got a good start, but look at Michael. He didn't let him get away too far this time.
Now, Michael Sturgill staying right on his back bumper, going down into turn number 1. New Biggin gets a little bit of a run down into turn number 1, a little bit better than what Sturgill did. Aaron Smith is going to keep Sturgill honest here, running in third, staying right up behind him. New Biggin still showing strength, still actually pulling away just a little bit down the back straightaway as they head down into turn number 3.
Yeah, as you can see here, the 7's going to have that good run coming off of turn 4. I'm curious to see if we're going to have any issues coming off of turn 4 here, especially after a restart. It's like so far so good as we're 3 wide coming out of turn number 4. As you can maybe even 4 wide here, going maybe on the entry of 1.
Yes, if you look at that, that's, I mean, you talk about Casey Barlow there in the 25, the 77 of Gabriel Ellison. And then you have Mo Abbott, Mikey Neal, Alex Hoffman, all there. Oh, we got the 48 around of Mo Abbott.
You know, I was just getting ready to say we saw this earlier, 3 wide through turns number 1 and 2. Did not work out for them. We saw it again here. Looked like Mo Abbott started to get a little bit loose and looks like the number 4 right there at his left rear quarter panel. That just sucked the wind off of that spoiler right there coming off of the turn. That is going to cause the 48 of Mo Abbott to get loose and go around the 4 car with nowhere to go.
It looks like, in my opinion, the 48 might have had a little help there. So I don't know if he just got loose and the 4 didn't see him check up there, or if that was something else, but curious to see what that mindset was.
Well, let's see, Steve, if we can get our lovely producers to maybe get us a bit of a bird's eye view here.
Let's see here.
It looks like there is a little bit of contact there from the 4 machine. Maybe a slight checkup from the 48 as he sees the 8 car coming. Thought he was going to be able to slide up and then realized he couldn't. 4 machine with nowhere to go. And Abbott being the unlucky victim of that unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah, that 31 machine is going to have some good front end damage too with that stack up there with the 4. I expect him to come down pit road, get that repaired, and he'll be back up. He'll be back up there just fine. Same thing with the 4 and the 48. It's not a lot. It's like there wasn't a lot of damage on all those cars. It looks like they're going to be able to get it fixed and get back out there.
And so look at a different replay, looking out the back of Mo Abbott in the 48. So you see the 4 there. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming.
What a view off the back of Mo Abbott's car there as well. You see right here, there's the contact from the 4 machine. 4 just trying to keep it low and keep off of him and not lose any more momentum than he has to. Just kind of gets stuck with no other choice when Mo Abbott checks up a little bit there. Mo Abbott does a good job to keep it down on the bottom and not swing it back up into traffic, though. Well done by Mo Abbott on that one.
Absolutely. The only thing is now is all those drivers you spun are now down a set of tires. We're not even to halfway yet. So thinking about that, tires might be coming into a problem here later on in the race. It looks like we have a couple drivers who already took maybe a couple more sets than they want to. Remember, they only have 4 in the pits at the beginning of this race.
So let's
Four
look
set.
at front. You see Doug there with 2 stops. And I'm not sure if that's correct, but so it shows Michael Sturgill with 1, Aaron Smith with 1, Landon Huffman with 1. Then David Farmer, who's in 5th, has 3 stops tonight with Peyton Strickland with 2.
That is the same thing that I'm showing, so I would say that is correct.
I would believe some of those stops were also fuel only, especially making those couple runs there beginning. We had a couple cautions back to back there. I bet you some of those were just fuel only.
Well, I can confirm that our current race leader of Doug Newbigging in his last pit stop back on lap 27, he did take only fuel, but looking at it, Michael Sturgill in at number 17, he in his one and only pit stop, he also only took fuel, as well as on back in, I believe it's going to be 7th and 9th. Kyle Hardy and Gregory Carrico only took fuel as well on their pit stops.
Well, it's good to know that they're saving tires for later on this race because they're going to need them.
Definitely, this track wears all those tires. And you always want some new ones, some fresh ones. So you might save them now so you can have them at the end as we're fixing to go back to green flag action. Out of turn number 4, they're doubled up. Doug Newbigging is fixing to bring us down to the green flag.
Awesome speed shots. You saw them there a moment ago. And Steve, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give them a shout out for it. I want to give a shout out to Bill Miller, Miller Family Trucking, for hooking us up with these fantastic cameras. And you see the pace car peel off. Doug Newbigging's going to bring us back to the green. A good start from Doug Newbigging. Michael Sturgill going to keep him honest as they head down the front straightaway and into turn number 1.
Looks like the 7 there is going to have the clean entry into 1 there. Looks like, again, he might have started changing lanes before the start-finish line. Remember, that is against the rules, against Bluegrass rules. And in NASCAR, you cannot change lanes before the restart line or before the start-finish line.
The 41, Strickland gets into the outside wall. Look at Hardy on the inside now. Making a move. Hardy now up to 6. Strickland falls back to 7th. Oh, Strickland comes down. They makes contact with the 27 of Cogswell. And he's into the infield grass there, Peyton Strickland is. But he saves it. He's back.
Great save. That's absolute great slave.
Does a fantastic job holding onto that car. And these cars, Bryce, I'm sure you can attest to it, these cars are extremely difficult to hold on to through that grass. Oh,
absolutely. These low-profile tires and the way that rear independent suspension works, it's real hard to keep traction in this car, period, whether you're on pavement or you're on grass. But grass makes it a little bit harder because of the naturality of grass. So, especially with slicks, there's no traction, so it makes it a little bit harder, yeah.
As we're watching right now, 11th place of Nicholas Newgle there, and Gabriel Ellison in the 77 and 12th. He had to make that pit stop. He, missed his pits under that stage break. Had to come back down pit road. He's up to 12th. Then you got Brandon Holder in the 31, currently running 13th. But up front, that 7 machine, he's doing a pretty good job, BJ.
He is, and the caution flag is out. You see the pace car coming out. There's another driver, I believe that is the 41, going to be found at fault for this. Oh, you see it there, a hard hit for Peyton Strickland in the 41 and the 34 of Jason Bridges.
My heart goes out to Peyton. He was on a huge run there.
As you look at Jason Bridges there, and you look at Peyton, it looked like, I don't know, it looked like he just came down a little bit, clipped the grass,
It sure does, but the way that he came straight up the track like that, I don't know if he track hard lost traction or he had a hardware issue, like a steering wheel locked up or something. That just seems odd. I've never seen a car do that before.
Yeah, it looks. I'm just gonna call it as I see it. It looks kind of fishy to me. He goes down to the inside. Didn't look like he got loose or anything. Went down to the apron, caught the grass, and that's where he broke loose. Was on the grass and shot him up the track. I can't help but wonder as to why he was actually going down there on the bottom. It doesn't look like he bobbled it. It doesn't look like his car broke loose. Just drove it down to the apron and shot straight up across the nose of Jason Bridges.
Well, maybe he has some hardware failure going on there. I mean, never know.
Hey, yeah, you never do know. This is technology. Technology does have its issues from time to time. It is not a perfect world, and I have a lot of those issues myself with VR. Hey, sometimes stuff happens.
Looking off back at the pace truck, looking at Doug's car there, the number 7-year race leader.
I bet you these drivers are enjoying this caution laps. It lets them breathe a little bit, gets them back under, gets themselves calm back down, get ready to go back green again. And this 7 car, he's been strong on restarts. He did get a warning, however, to not change lanes before the restart, so keep an eye on that.
Well, the lights are going out on the pace truck. These drivers are doubling up. As you're looking off the roof cam of Kyle Hardy in a 99 machine. That 84, that's a pretty looking car there.
Yeah, it is. It's the EFI Hooker something. Not sure what else it says there on the back of that number 84. That is a good looking clean number white good looking clean white and red number 84 machine. There's a classic bright banana yellow number 70 of Aaron Smith
from Hollywood, South Carolina.
You learn about so many different places that I've never heard about.
He could brag, say he lives in Hollywood. I mean, they didn't ask what state. He lives in Hollywood.
Hey, I've been to that Hollywood, but it don't compare as far as all the fancy stuff going on. But hey, there's a lot more racing going on in that Hollywood than in the other Hollywood.
Well, the pace car looking to make that left-hand turn. We're inside of Aaron Smith car for the restart. Green flag is out. There you see the drivers get single filed quickly as they go into turn number 1. The 84 Farmer battling side by side with Hoffman. That's the battle for 4th and 5th on the track. A little further back there, you see Kyle Hardy. They got Mike Neal Jr. and Gregory Carrico in 8th in the 18 machine. Then you have Steve Tucker in a 24, currently running 9th, looking to the inside of Gregory. And Gabriel Ellison there in 10th, that 77 machine. But meanwhile, up front, look at this, BJ. Oh, the 7 has a problem. Made a mistake there. He's going to lose a couple of spots, Doug is.
Roasted Guns coffee machine of Doug Newbigging gets loose off of turn 4. Bryce been talking about it all night long. At turn number 4, bites another one, but a good job by Newbigging to hold on to it.
Absolutely, that was a fantastic save there. He's going to rebound, stay in 4th position. Looks like he's going to be just fine to carry on the rest of his way.
Now look at Kyle Hardy looking to the inside of Aaron Smith, that 99 machine. Looking strong right now. We're on lap number 45. Kyle Hardy in 3rd, trying to chase down Aaron Smith in the 70. But Smith, he's closing in on your race leader, Michael Sturgill Jr.
As you can see, that run right there was the beauty of the rear diffuser. Cleans out that dirty air, allowed the 70 car to pull up behind the 17 of Michael Sturgill, and now he's gonna be able to make that run on the backstretch as well.
Down the back straightaway, you look, you see Landon Hoffman there in the 40 machine. He goes down low to the inside of Doug. They're side by side. That's a battle for fourth on the track, fourth and fifth. Also, look at Aaron Smith. He gets a run on the outside, out of turn number 4. But Michael Sturgill Jr. continues to lead here at Auto Club, the Auto Club 250. Brought to you by the Bluegrass Cup Series live on Ultimate Dirt TV. A lot of good side-by-side action now on the track. I mean, Bryce, last night, you were able to do a lot of side-by-side action.
Yeah, I was, until I realized how bad it's burning up my tires. The more side-by-side you run, the more you're burning up your right front, the more you're adding temperature to it. The more on the high side here, the more you're going to be putting temperature and you're wearing down your right front. So you want to take care of your right front tire and your right rear all at the same time. And running side-by-side makes that very, very difficult to do.
Well, look at Kyle Hardy. He goes high and wide there. Out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. But look, the battle for your race lead. Aaron Smith and Michael Sturgill Jr. Give it to Smith going into turn number 3. This battle has been looking good since the last restart. And now even Doug's under attack by Landon Huffman in that 40 machine. Oh, we got one sideways in the grass. I believe that's the 84 of David Farmer. He does save it, bring it back onto the racing surface.
It was a great job by saving that vehicle. That was a fantastic job.
Well, BJ, gotta wonder, these front 2, they're not worried. They're still battling side by side. Look how hard he giving the push to Aaron Smith there.
Yeah, these cars are able to tandem draft really well, especially in those short drives like that on the backstretch. They're able to get hooked up like that, and they're able to shove each other, and it's fantastic to watch, even in real life.
Definitely. Now look at Kyle Hardy looking for the race lead. Kyle Hardy will take it.
Like he's going to get crossed over here. The 70 is going to have a run on him. He's sending it in way too hard. He's going to lose all that momentum coming off the turn 2.
Aaron Smith reclaims the lead. Now look at Michael Sturgill Jr. down to the inside as Hardy is falling back. Now the 40 of Huffman there. Looking to make it 3 wide for second as they come out of turn number 4. Almost some contact. Good save there. A little hairy, a little dicey. As we complete lap number 51. Or lap number 50 on lap number 51. And this is another stage.
Yes, that is going to end the stage. Forgive me, I had to step away for a second there. Had a bit of a coughing fit. Our stage finish in the top 10 is going to be Aaron Smith, Michael Sturgill Jr., Landon Huffman, Kyle Hardy, Douglas Newbiggie, Mikey Neal, Gregory Carrico, Alex Huffman, James Mullins, and Steve Tucker. All of those drivers are going to be receiving stage points for stage number 2 here on lap number 50, going by 10 points to Aaron Smith, all the way down to Steve Tucker at 1 point.
Well, BJ, why don't you go see if you get a word in with our stage winner of Aaron Smith. As we look as the drivers catch up to the pace car down the back straightaway. A lot of excitement racing that we've seen so far tonight.
Oh, what was that?
Alright, we have caught up now with the winner of stage number 2, Aaron Smith. Aaron, that almost iconic now, bright yellow number 70 machine, bringing it home for stage number 2. Walk us through that 25 lap fight to get up there to first.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it because I had my my teammates up there in the front row racing up there to try to keep their spots. But I wanted to get as many points as I could here because I didn't know how I was going to do tonight. But we kept it up front and brought home the stage win.
Did a fantastic run. Little over half of the race to go whenever you come back. I believe you should have right around 60 laps to go whenever you come back to finish out the race. What's the game plan going into these final 60 laps?
I'm hoping we'll, as I slide through my box, I hope we get a full green flag run to the end because I know I can get a good run going on the full tire run, but we'll see. I'm not too sure what's going to happen from here, but hopefully it'll come out in my favor.
So,
All right. Good.
so do you think with these new tires that turn 4 is going to be a little more sketchy on this restart, or is it going to stay sketchy the way it's been all night?
It's been sketchy the whole time, so I don't think that's going to change any, but hopefully it doesn't catch me out. But as long as it doesn't take out any of the cars in front of me, I guess it's all right.
So how many more stops do you think you're looking towards? 1, 2 more stops to the end of the race?
If we go green, it'll be 2. So no more than that, as long as I don't crash.
Alrighty. Well, we will let you get back at it. What channel were you in?
I think I was in Garage 3.
Garage 3. Alrighty. Well, congratulations again on winning stage number 2. Bringing home that bonus playoff point and 10 extra stage points.
All
Good
right,
luck
thank
with the
you.
rest of the race.
Appreciate it.
Well, Jonathan Cogswell was the first off of pit road. Frankie Barrasso is taking another pit stop there. Something must have happened during a pit stop. Maybe missed his pit lane and drove back off. Not too sure there.
Looking at the amount of time that he spent in the pits, it's looking as though he might have missed his pit stall or only took fuel, one of the two, and changed his mind at the last second to go and get tires as well. As he has just hit his pit stall and is on his way back out once again.
All right. So we've had 6 cautions tonight. 2 of the cautions you see on there shows 8. 2 of them are the stage cautions for the stages here at Auto Club. Cogswell and Abbott on your front row. Hardy and Huffman, Sturgill and Smith in row number 3. Newbigging and Huffman in row number 4. Neal and Tucker in row number 5.
I believe Mo is also on older tires. Remember, he had that spin and had caused a caution. And I wouldn't be surprised here if he's on a little bit older tires.
Definitely. As when they come out of turn number 4, the pace car is going to make that left-hand turn and give the field to the hands of Jonathan Cogswell. Green flag is out. Jonathan getting a good start there in the 27. Look at James. Look at Hardy there.
It's going to bring Kyle Hardy, that's what I was about to say, bring Kyle Hardy right along with him on the inside, 3 wide very quickly just before we go into turn number 1. You saw the 48 of Mo Abbott falling back very quickly. Mo Abbott did not take tires on the last pit stop. You see the effects of the old tires versus the new tires. You know, these cars, Bryce, they might feel better on the old tires sometimes, but it's proving right there that just because the car feels better, it does not mean that it's near as fast.
Oh, absolutely. These cars have a wider wheelbase, and even though they might have a wider wheelbase, a 19-inch, it still feels like honestly crap when you are on old tires and these cars with the new tires are zooming by you at like 5-mile-an-hour difference. It's insane.
Well, right now, you look at Huffman there, your race leader of 3 wide, battle for second. You see the 99 of Hardy on outside, Aaron Smith, and the 7 of Doug Newbiggin there, and Sturgill Jr., the 17, putting his name in the hat as Kyle Hardy takes the lead going coming out of turn number 4 down the front straightaway to complete lap number 56 of this 125 lap affair. Kyle Hardy will lead that lap at the line. Now Luca Huffman onto his outside in the 40 machine. Then you have Smith and Sturgill Jr. That's your top 4. Looking a little further back in the field. You see a lot of 2 and 3 wide action further back, and up front, it's still getting interesting.
It definitely is. We had a little bit of contact between Hardy and Huffman. Huffman being the one to lose the most out of that one, but it looks like he's going to gain it back right down the outside. He's getting loose. He snaps it straight up into the wall. He's going to collect the 8 machine. That's going to be Mikey Neal in the number 8 that he collects along with him. Looks like everybody else is going to be able to get by, but that's going to be a tough break for that number 40 machine of Landon Huffman there. Coming off of turn number 4, battling for the lead, just snaps loose. Looked like he got a little bit too aggressive on those fresh tires. Man, that's going to hurt him in this race.
Oh, absolutely. If you rewind a little bit further, you saw the 99 underneath him got a little squirrely, so I wonder if he spun out of reactionary because, I mean, if you see someone in your peripherals kind of getting a little squirmy, you kind of react a little bit, but it doesn't like that might be the case.
As you look now, the rear end kicks out from him. He tries to save it, overcorrects, gets into the outside wall.
Yeah, that's your rack and pinion steering there, trying to catch itself while you're trying to do it too, and doesn't really work out that way, unfortunately.
And then Mike Neely Jr. gets clipped in the melee there, gets turned around backwards down the front straightaway. Tough luck for that young man.
Victim of circumstance. The best way to put it for that number 8 machine. He gets collected, nowhere to go. You see him there. He's shooting low, hoping to go by it. And the number 40 of Huffman off the wall comes down the track into him. As I said, fantastic job by everybody to get around him. Get around these two cleanly and not get involved in the caution.
Absolutely. It's a great job by the 8 to keep that machine off the wall. He'll be able to put on 4 Goodyear tires, and he'll be back in this race for sure.
Minimal damage to the 8 machine. The number 40 of Huffman, not near as lucky. Sitting up there in the front row, though, the biggest beneficiary of the whole thing, the number 17 of Michael Sturgill, took his first tire set, if I remember correctly, there on that stage break at lap number 50. Sturgill still has, we're about the halfway mark, almost to the halfway mark of this race, and he is still only on his second set of tires in this race.
Absolutely. With these cars and how many cautions we've had, they've actually been able to cool down their tires, and they haven't been really that much of a run this evening. So with them having this many cautions, they're able to cool down their tires, they're able to regain some grip for the restarts, and you'll start seeing fall off the more the run happens.
Looking at the fastest lap times, just as the lights go out on the pace car, just a quick tidbit of information. The fastest lap turn tonight was by that number 40 machine that we just saw snap loose at a 40.85 second lap. And he now sits back in 21st after that caution. Now, very close to him is the number 2, our stage 1 winner, if I remember correctly. In that number 2 machine, he runs a 40.886, only a 100th difference. These drivers both extremely quick and currently mired back in the field, Steve.
That's right. You look at Sturgill Jr. He last pitted on lap 52 there, along with most of these drivers. But lights are back out, are off on the pace track We're going to let them go back to green flag action here out of turn number 4. Kyle Hardy, Sturgill will start on the inside. Kyle Hardy will start on the outside. Aaron Smith to the inside of row number 2 with Doug Newbegin onto his outside. The pace car looking to make that left-hand turn. The field is left in the hands of Michael Sturgill Jr. as the green flag is out. A good start there, Bryce, that Michael had.
Oh, absolutely. He had a great jump off the line. He definitely beat Aaron, and Aaron kind of helped him there. But he definitely had a great jump off the line. Got a clean entry into turn 1. He's going to scoot away anytime.
Well, BJ, he's starting to pull away. Now you see Doug Newbegin out for turn number 2 there. Losing some ground. Here comes Kyle Hardy and Alex Huffman. We haven't spoke much about Alex Huffman in the Ford machine all night.
Alex Huffman has been rather quiet all night. 2 Huffmans in the field, Alex and Landon. Landon has been the driver up front that has been spoke about. Alex has been a quiet driver in the number 4 machine. Sitting in 5th right now. He has moved his way up from, it looks like, the 8th position at the start of this race. Not real far forward, but forward enough that he's sitting in the top 5 now and has caught our attention.
Definitely, he's been driving clean, keeping it smart there as Michael Sturgill Jr. continues to lead with Aaron Smith and Doug Newbegin. They're your top 3. Then you have Kyle Hardy, James Mullins, and Gabriel Ellison in that 77 machine. Ellison battling with the 2 of James Mullins. Mullins on his outside there as they come out turn number 4 down the front straightaway. Now, I got to ask Bryce, in these cup cars, if you come all the way down to the apex down there, does that upset your car any?
The only way that I see the car getting really upset there is either one, you hit that apron and get the splitter on that apron. It shoots it wiggles your car and bottoms out the car. That's the only time I ever see it getting upset. And, of course, if you gun it too early, which means you put the pedal down, get the power back down on the rear tires, that's when it usually gets upset. But if you just run run that line and you're patient, wait for the car to turn, and you'll be able to do just fine. Your car won't get upset. You'll have a good run onto the front stretch.
Well, Huffman says he needed a new pair of underwear after that last avoidance. I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. As right now we're looking at Brandon Holder there in the 31 machine. Right ahead of him is Gabriel Ellison and Kyle Hardy. The battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th on the track. Look at the 31 of Holder to the outside of the 77 of Ellison as they go down this back straightaway into turn number 3. And there is Gregory Carico there in the 18. He's been kind of quiet a little bit tonight.
Gregory Carico being very quiet. One of the few drivers still running that high side as he's followed Ellison up through the back up through the field since that last restart. Those drivers currently sitting 8th and 9th, slowly working their way up through the field, doing a good job of it. His caution flag waves once again.
Caution flag. We spoke of his name, and he is flashing on the dashboard. The 18 machine gets loose in 1 and 2 there. We said he was quiet. He made some noise there.
Yeah, that is now the 10th caution on the evening.
Well, Gabriel, so this should tell you something. You really don't want us to mention your name during racing, huh?
He definitely decided to make himself known right there. A little bit of commentators cursing. Steve, I'm gonna blame this one on you. I'm gonna say at fault for this caution is gonna be Stephen McMillian for dropping commentators curse. He's gonna receive the EOL penalty.
Well, we've went and put the camera on a couple people, saw him get loose and wreck off a turn number 4 quite a few times. So I don't know, next week when you're racing into the Xfinity Series, maybe it'd be something me not to say your name, Bryce, and not dare show your car.
Yeah, so I'm starting to think, were you watching my POV when I got in an accident last night? I'm starting to think you did.
I was close to it.
There's an okay chance of that.
Yeah. But luckily we're off next week, so this little week break, get my mind back right for Texas. And Texas is going to be a doozy for sure. I ran to practice today, and it's not easy to drive. So
Definitely. As pit stops now happening on the track as Michael Sturgill Jr., Aaron Smith, James Mullins, Alex Huffman, Kyle Hardy, Brandon Holder, everybody comes down pit road. What's the pit strategy here?
man, I expect people to start using their tires that they saved for the beginning of the race, and I bet you they're going to start every pit stop they have now. Especially the longer they have their runs, the more they're going to want to use their 4 sets of tires, and put on 4 sticker tires and get full of Sunoco racing fuel, and then be out in the way.
Well, you look at it. James Mullins first out pit road. Aaron Smith, Alex Huffman, and Kyle Hardy and Landon Huffman. Your top 5 after pit stops. Then you got Chase Barlow, Jonathan Cogswell, Michael Sturgill Jr., Steve Tucker, Doug Newbegin, Frankie Barrasso, Gabriel Ellison, Matt Gruner there, Mo Abbott in 14th, Nicholas Nugel in 15th, Brian Terry in 16th, Brandon Zimmerman, David Farmer, and Brandon Holder 19th. Then you still have on pit road Ryan Campbell in 20th, Mikey Neal Jr. in 21st, and Scott Fritz in 22nd with Gregory Carico there in 23rd.
Yeah, it's not a very common sight to see Scott Fritz mired back laps down as he sits currently in this race. Scott Fritz sits 2 laps down, something we've not seen out of him, a little uncharacteristic as the luck has not been on his side tonight here at Auto Club. As the lights go out on a pace car, we are 1 to green.
1 to green here.
And currently there are 21 cars on the lead lap.
So right now, we talked about Huff, but I don't know if I should even talk about him no more. We talked about being quiet. He's now in that 3rd position on the inside of row number 2 for this restart. A nice looking car there. Maybe I need to change cameras and get it off of him.
Well, yeah. I feel like I just seen you switch it to Kyle Hardy. Now, don't take out one of our dirt drivers, Steve. Uh-oh, I did see it go to Kyle Hardy.
As you look on board of Kyle Hardy's machine. And we'll stay on board when we take the green flag.
Well, there's something I think iRacing... I'd like to see iRacing update, and I'm sure they will before too long. That is one cold car right now, and its battery is completely dead.
I just now noticed that.
Yeah. It's pumping 0 volts according to this thing. We know that's incorrect. As James Mullins bringing us to the green, and we're racing here at Auto Club on lap number 69 as we're on board with Kyle Hardy in the 99 machine.
Kyle Hardy, you see him go to the outside. Everybody else is going to shoot to the low side. Aaron Smith holding on to 2nd. It's going to be Huffman taking 3rd, or continuing to stay in 3rd, rather, as that's where he restarted. Kyle Hardy's now going to look right up to his back bumper. He's not going to look to make the move on the inside. He's just going to stay comfortable there, and he's going to ride. He backs off going into turn number 3. Huffman gets the run. Hardy sliding up the track. Huffman to the inside, gets loose, going around all by himself. Several other cars involved. Several cars involved from the checkup. Steve?
I didn't do it.
Steve.
I didn't do it.
Steve.
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. You like to give him Polar Express. I didn't do it.
I feel like Steve's going to owe apologies by the end of this race.
How many now? It's what, 3 or 4 now? Come on, Steve. You do better than that, brother.
I know. I'm just. Maybe I just needed to look for the blip. All right, let's take a look at this replay here.
There's a car in the middle of that replay that skated through all 4 of those and came out clean. I want to see who that is and watch his POV. That is an amazing maneuver.
So you look right there, it gets a little loose coming out turn number 4 there. It's the right underneath that white line, the car. And it looked like he tried to save it. Then it gets really loose there. And it shoots him back up the track.
If he didn't hit that grass there, he saves that car 100%.
Absolutely agree with that. He was holding on to it, but the line to hold on to it just happened to be through a little bit of green. And just goes around.
What about Michael Sturgill there? I mean, let's rewind this back and look at this. As you see it, on the binders, I mean, he didn't touch him. He missed him.
He did miss him, but that definitely broke him loose. Looks like nobody made contact with him, just barely, though. I want to know who that was that just went flying by. Let's get a slow-mo of who that was that shot by and see if we can get it stopped right on whoever that was. Because whoever that was, they might also need some new underwear.
As we're looking on Michael's car right there.
Some of these drivers tonight need to be wearing some brown pants, that's for sure.
As there you see the 4.
I don't know how he does not hit him here. That is insane car control.
That absolutely impressive. You know, Steve, that's something we see on dirt a lot. But they're used to sliding around on dirt.
Definitely.
That was insane.
And don't forget, this caution is brought to you by Blanchard's Towing. Give them a call at 207-817-0105 for all your towing needs. Well,
I do want to say one thing. I do believe that we have broken the record for the most cautions in a Cup Series race in Bluegrass.
we might have.
And you know, I'm gonna be honest. I am completely biased in this statement, but I despise the next gen Cup cars. So I'm just telling you, I am completely biased on this statement. That is due to the next gen cars and the model that they are on iRacing. The cars do not drive like anything else on the sim, and it is taking a long time, and it's very difficult for these drivers, for almost all drivers that I've seen, to figure out how to run these cars as smoothly, as cleanly, and keep a hold of them like they have all the other cars here at Bluegrass.
Well,
Absolutely.
9 cautions, Bryce. 9. Nine cautions, Bryce. I don't know if I want to show anybody no more.
Let's watch the pace car. I think he's going to win this race anyways.
Yeah, there you go. Look at the 70 missed a gear there.
He sure did. The 70 did. Look at the good start that James Mullins got. Now you look at Kyle Hardy to the inside of Aaron Smith. Aaron Smith driving the 70 machine. He got Landon Huffman. He's currently running in 4th. The 27 of Jonathan Cogswell. He's currently running 5th with Casey Barlow. Nicholas Nugel and Mo Abbott in 8th. Brandon Holder and Michael Sturgill Jr. in 10th. You know, going back, Bryce, what you were saying, you're starting to comment there about what BJ was saying about how these cars handle.
Yeah, so these new next gen cars, they haven't been, I wouldn't say rebuilt like the Gen 6 have, but these cars only had like 1 or 2 major updates since they've been debuted for almost a year now. So these cars are just going to keep getting better and better and better as the age on iRacing continues to grow.
Well, I will say this. We were looking at the 99 there, and he did hit the outside wall and losing several positions. Kyle Hardy, he's now back to 12th position. But meanwhile, your race leader is James Mullins, Aaron Smith, and Landon Huffman, your top 3. Mullins and Smith are putting on a clinic, leaving the rest of the field behind.
And while we're talking about that, while you guys were chatting, I was able to get a hold of the crew of the number 70 machine. Aaron Smith did not miss a gear. He actually started in second gear along with the leader. He just got caught sleeping. That's all there is to it. But they continue to pull away as there's battles going on back through the field. Alex Huffman working his way back up through as he just got around the 08 machine of Nicholas Noggle there. He has made his way back up to 13th from, I believe it was 17th after that caution.
Well, you look at the 7 right now of Doug Newbegin. They're currently running in 9th, and right behind them is Kyle Hardy and Mo Abbott. There's the battle for 10th and 11th on the track. Good racing side by side, going a little further back up there. You see your third place of Landon Huffman there. Currently running third, there's Aaron Smith and James Mullins. Bryce, if you're sitting back there, say where Mikey Neal Jr. is, in that 8 machine, what do you do right now?
It's hard. I would honestly just keep your car safe. Don't push your car. Don't let your car snap. Just ride around. You still have a long race to go. Your laps are starting to click off. You still have a long race to go. Keep your car clean. Keep your tires cool, and you'll be good to go.
And I start laughing because right after Steve, you talk about it, I saw a little bubble out of that 8 machine. I thought for a second there he was going to loose it through that turn. I was about to be like, Steve, here you go again.
As we're looking up at the battle right now, that's Casey Barlow on the outside, the 17 machine of Michael Sturgill Jr. to his inside. Out of turn number 4. Now you look at Brandon Holder in the 31, making the move on the bottom. Brandon Holder been kind of quiet tonight too. He's up 9 spots since the start of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. He was involved in a couple accidents earlier on in this race. He's made a very nice rebound to be where he is now. Absolutely, on a great run.
Well, right now, let me ask you this, BJ, before you say anything. You're James Mullins. You've won a stage. You're dominating right now. What do you do? What else is there for James to do? Just sit back, relax?
If I were in the shoes of that number 2 machine, I'd be looking at how the tire wear has gone and how rough this track is. If you watch on the back straightaway, these cars are literally bouncing up and down a little bit left and right. It's putting a lot of wear on these tires. If I was James Mullins right now, I'm going to back off, maybe settle in behind the number 70 of Aaron Smith, relax for a little while, and knowing I've got a strong car, go for it. Again, closer to the end of the race.
Well, we're looking off the hood or off the roof of Aaron Smith's car as it goes into turn number 3. See right ahead, James Mullins as it exits turn number 4 down the front straightaway. Now the sun is facing the back of the cars down the front straightaway, but we noticed down the front, but down the back straightaway, that sun is beating down on their eyes.
It is right in their eyes, and I feel sorry for any driver out there that is running HDR or reshade, which, if I'm not mistaken, Steve, you run a reshade. That's why we have these beautiful colors that you're able to produce. I feel sorry for any drivers running that right now. I know how much of a pain that can be to have that glare right in your eyeballs.
Definitely. I mean, it can really, Bryce, yesterday, your night ended pretty early, but that sun, does it pay, Does it pay big dividends? You know, does it hurt you as a driver, that sun out of the turns?
It mainly hurts. I know in my experiences, it mainly hurts when you're entering a turn. When you're coming out of turn 2, okay, yeah, it might hurt a little bit. But when you're entering turn 3, that sun is so glaring, you might miss your braking point, your lift points, hell, even your apex. So the sun does play a big deal. And when the sun goes away behind, as you can see in the replay there, behind the grandstands on turn 3 and 4, it actually cools down that section of track too. So not only are you dealing with different track temps, you also have a difference in the vision with the sun as well.
So BJ, I'm showing something a little bit different on the 70 machine. This is a driver input with the steering wheel. And you look at those squiggly lines.
That squiggly line, if I remember correctly, that squiggly line is actually his throttle. When it goes up, he's off of the throttle. When it goes down, he's on the throttle. It looks as though he might need to do a little recalibration with as up and down as that is. But it still goes to show just how much work goes into keeping this car on it, keeping this car fast. You know, it's not like the old games that we used to play of, you know, NASCAR Thunder or NASCAR Dirt to Daytona, where you lift going into the corner. You can do it pretty much at every single track. You lift going into the corner, let the car coast, and then get back into it. You see right there, Aaron Smith is putting a lot into it. There, it dropped right there, way down. He's on the binders right there. He's tapping the brake. He's allowing the nose of that car. He's starting to get tight now as there's getting heat in those tires. He's tapping the brake to allow the weight to shift back to the nose of that car to where he can get all of the steer out of it that he can.
Well, Bryce, this is a neat little thing that we have.
Absolutely. Gives us a good insight on what the driver's feeling inside the car and what his actions are in the steering wheel for sure.
Well, now you look at Brandon Holder. He's currently running 4th, and we're looking at his steering wheel. You can see in the turns, you know, this is live input from the driver. As you see down the back straightaway, right there, he gets off the gas, on the gas. That's where the lines go up and down. But look at the steering wheel, how much he's moving it.
Absolutely, yeah. The more input you have, especially when you're wiggling like that, it kind of scuffs your tires some. But if you do it just right, it allows your car to sit down more in the turns, and you have more control over the car that way for sure.
It allows for a solid weight transfer to allow the car to sit, as you said, sit down more. But it's setting it, if you do it just right, what it's really doing is it's setting on a specific tire, whether it be the right front or the right rear, depending on where and how hard even you give the little jerks. You don't want big jerks. You give a big jerk, that car is going to do what we've seen many times tonight, and it's going to be facing the wrong direction. But those little jerks going to allow that car to set down and really put the downforce on the tire that you needed on and give you the grip that you need.
Well,
absolutely. In turn 4, you're going to want that weight on that right rear tire. In turn 1 and 2, you kind of want more on the weight on the front right tire.
Well, we're looking a little further back. See Alex Huffman there in the 4 machines. Made his way back all the way to 8th place. Battling with Landon Huffman in the 40. That's currently running 7th. A little further back, you see the 08 of Nicholas Nugel there. And directly behind him is Doug Newbegin in the 7 machine. Then you have Jonathan Cogswell in the 27. The 24, Steve Tucker with some nose damage there on that machine. That car definitely not handling the way he wants to. Then you have Bo Abbott currently running 13th. Fred Farmer, he has some nose damage on that right hand side of that machine, that 84. Then Brandon Zimmerman has a top 15 right now in number 20. Then Frankie Barroso there in the 12 machine, currently running 16th. Kyle Hardy, he hit that wall. He's all the way back to 19th.
19th, mired a lap down by the looks of it. And you know, you mentioned Steve Tucker there. I got to give it to Steve Tucker. He's doing a fantastic job keeping up as much as he is in that number 24 machine with no front clip left on that thing.
Definitely keeping the car cooled off for sure.
Well, that's what I was fixing to say. You know, without the nose clip there, front of the hand of the nose, you got all the air. Definitely keeping it cool, but it's definitely dragging that front end down, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. You're not getting any aerodynamic privileges anymore, especially with no front bumper like that. All that air is getting sucked up into your radiator, into your engine bay. It's not getting deflected where you need it. Absolutely.
Well, right now you look at Brandon Holder in the 31, currently running fourth. Mikey Neely Jr. right behind him in the 8 machine. Then you got Casey Barlow in the 25. But James Mullins in the 2 continues to lead on lap number 89. The 70 of Aaron Smith Jr. has been there right behind him the whole time. And this has been a good little green flag stint we've been having going on.
This absolutely has been. Drivers have settled down. Our leaders have pulled away by nearly 3 seconds over third place of Michael Sturgill Jr. And even they've kind of settled down and settled into their own. It doesn't look like they're really pushing. Aaron Smith does not look as though he's pushing to take the lead away from Mullins. And Mullins does not look like he's forcing the issue to put any gap between him and Aaron Smith.
Well, Bryce, you know, Mullins and Aaron Smith, they're in their own zip code tonight right now.
Absolutely. They are by far the 2 strongest cars I've seen in the field tonight. But I do have a quick question for you guys. Who is your guys' ones to watch this rest of this race?
Well, the ones to watch is not the one for me to tell you because we all know what's going to happen. Aaron Smith in that 2 machine coming down, or not in the 70 machine, coming down pit road there, making his pit stop on lap number 91. If you're Mullins, when do you think Mullins is going to pit?
If I was Mullins, I'd have pitted. Aaron Smith did call it out, did inform the rest of the field that he was going to be pitting in, so there wouldn't be any kind of stack up. If I was Mullins, I would have pitted with him, so I had a drafting partner to get out there and get running. Aaron Smith, Brandon Holder, David Farmer, and Matt Grenier, the drivers to have pitted there. Here comes the number 2 down pit road now. These drivers are going to be looking to take tires and fuel at this stage of the race and get back out there. The only driver I see so far to take only tires is going to be Matt Grenier.
The 70 is currently on the backstretch, so it'll be currently to see how quick this 2 team can get those 4 tires on and get full of fuel compared to the 70.
Aaron Smith now in 15th place. Michael Sturgill there, right behind him. Michael is your race leader in that 17 machine.
Smith just barely able to hold on from going a lap down in his pit cycle there. And this is actually working out for him as Mikey Neal Jr. Actually, it looks like, yeah, Mikey Neal Jr. was one of the drivers to have pitted with Aaron. Looks like it's going to work out for these drivers as they are now working their way around Sturgill. But this is one of those tracks where it is very quick to get your pace back up. However, that number 2 machine is currently mired clear back in 14th.
Absolutely, but when these cars start pitting and they start, when the green flag pit stops does this full revolution, I do believe the 70 just passed the 2 for the lead. Just to keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure, I want to say I'm like 99% sure that's what just happened there.
Well, your leader, Michael Sturgill Jr., the 17, puts the 2 down. And I'm not sure what happened to the 2 machine out of turn number 4. There's a little bit of smoke. I don't know if he got the car a little bit loose there. Smoked those tires up that allowed Sturgill Jr. to put him lap down, but look down the back straightaway. The 2 machine is back around Sturgill's to get back on the lead lap. The 2 machine of James Mullins there. 70 of Aaron Smith right now. You see him right there? He's currently mirrored in 13th position as Michael Sturgill Jr. continues to lead here at Auto Club for the Auto Club 250 live on Ultimate Dirt TV, simulcasted on dirtfan.com, on the Bluegrass Facebook page and YouTube, Ultimate Dirt TV's Facebook page and YouTube, and many other platforms across Facebook as we got a caution on the racetrack.
And Steve, what a wrench this is going to throw in the works. A lot of these drivers that just pitted and were not able to unlap themselves, including Alex Huffman, Casey Barlow, Brandon Holder, Kyle Hardy, Mo Abbott, Scott Fritz. These guys are now going to be mired back behind all of the drivers that have not yet pitted, as well as the drivers that have pitted and managed to unlap themselves. The drivers that just pitted were able to unlap themselves are now going to be lined up in the front, as the rest of those drivers are going to have to go down pit road and line up behind the rest of the drivers that have already pitted and unlapped themselves as we look at the replay of the 84 going around out of turn number 4. Turn number 4, Bryce bites another one.
Absolutely, yeah. When you were talking about those lap cars, yeah, it's going to be a throws a wrench, and especially with time and scoring here. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a extended caution here. But yeah, turn 4 did catch another one here, and especially when these cars are coming out with new tires, I expected this to happen. Absolutely.
Well, we're back to the line picture, so we know that Michael Sturgill Jr., your race leader, has yet to pit. So, if you're the 2 machine, do you come down pit road or do you stay out?
Absolutely not. I'm actually looking at timing and scoring right now, and it is showing the number 2 machine of James Mullins a lap down. So James Mullins is actually going to be in trouble on this one. And now as they cross the line, James Mullins is showing 2 laps down. So he has got himself mired way back in a dangerous position. Aaron Smith back on the lead lap. You see him going down pit road there to the right of your screen. But Mullins is now in a massive amount of trouble. And actually, Steve, Mullins is just disconnected.
Yep, we're trying to see if we can catch it. Or rewinding it, because he was on the track. I did see some smoke one time. So here he comes down onto pit road.
Yeah, he didn't even take it to his box. He might have had an real life emergency.
Yep, tough luck for that young man.
Hope whatever happened did happen. I hope it's all good, and we'll see you next week.
So Michael Sturgill Jr., your race leader. Mikey Neal Jr. in second. Doug Newbegin in third. Brandon Zimmerman and Aaron Smith, your top 5. Then you got Frankie Barrazo there. And Ryan Campbell, Steve Tucker, Alex Huffman, and Nicholas Nugel there, your top 10.
I have to say the happiest person from seeing this caution is going to have to be Sturgill here, as he looked like he was going to try to stick it out as long as he could, but some of the drivers that had gone a lap down from pitting had already unlapped themselves and was starting to pull away from Sturgill. That was going to put Sturgill in a dangerous position. This caution just saved Sturgill.
Well, you look there, the 10th caution of the night. It shows 12. 2 of those are for the stages. So 10 cautions on the night here at Auto Club for the Bluegrass Cup Series. Don't forget, next week, the Bluegrass is off, and they'll be coming back on Monday night with the Truck Series the following week at Texas. Then Tuesday night, the Xfinity, and Wednesday night, the Cup Series. On lap number 98. Probably go green with 25 laps to go. If I was a betting man. But, right now, my betting odds have been off because every time I've shown a driver, they have wrecked or mentioned their name. Or emphasized their name, I should say.
I'd say you're about right on when we're going to go back green, except I'm thinking we're going to go back green on lap 100, so I'm going to say 26 laps to go. That's going to be my guess.
All right. Yep, the pace lights go off. We're going green. Out of turn number 4. We're going green, complete lap number 99. 26 laps to go here at Auto Club. ADW, you asked who's my pick? Who am I watching? I mean, really, I'll be honest with you. Probably I'm watching Aaron Smith. Just for how strong he was in that 70 machine.
That's a fantastic pick. BJ, what about you?
You know, because of how well that one just played out, I've got to look towards Michael Sturgill. He showed he's got a strong car. He's played it cool. He's played it safe throughout this race. And we're looking towards the closing stages of this race, and he just got a massive lucky break and a big shift in momentum his direction.
Absolutely. You guys took my two ones to watch. I'm going to go with a dark horse here. I'm going to go with the 08 of Nicholas Noggle. He's up 23 positions since the start of this race. He's got a massive break on this caution. I expect him to be up here by the end of the race for sure.
Definitely driving that Toyota machine there.
The only Yoda.
I'm a little confused as to why we've only got 2 cars on the outside, but the pace car dives in, coming back to the green. The field is in the hands of the number 17 machine of Michael Sturgill, and here he goes. He is back on the loud pedal. Mikey Neal Jr. sticking right on his outside. Good start for the outside row of Mikey Neal Jr. and Brandon Zimmerman there.
And the reason... My apologies. The reason we only had 2 on the outside there because everyone behind the double file was waved around the pace car.
Oh.
Because you got to think, they did not pit your front runners, until that caution came out. But way out front, Michael Sturgill Jr. getting a good start there. And look at Neal Jr. in that second spot. He's up 19 spots in the start of the race. Doug Newbegin, they're in third. There's Aaron Smith. He's led quite a few laps tonight in that 70 machine. Currently running fourth. And your pick, Bryce. Nicholas in 5th position. So, I mean, it could be anybody's game right now as we have 25 laps to go here at Auto Club.
Absolutely. This is coming down to the absolute wire. These drivers have been dealing with adversity all night long, especially off of turn 2 and turn 4. I'm curious to see if turn 4 has any more victims tonight.
Well, hopefully not. That wouldn't be good. Oh, and there it is. Your pick. He got it crossed up out of turn number 4, but he saves it.
As he went airborne there over the logo, I like that.
All right, coming back onto the track there. Tough
save,
luck.
Noggle.
Tough luck for Noggle there. But as we resume, we're still racing down the back straightaway. Your leader, Michael Sturgill Jr., Mikey Neal Jr. in second. Doug Newbegin in third. Aaron Smith, your top 4. Oh, you saw Doug get a little loose there. Aaron had to really get defensive mode there to not get in the back of him.
Does get loose, and another great save by the 7 machine. We saw that happen to him earlier when he was leading, Steve. Able to hold on to it and keep it rolling, though, but still losing positions. This time, not quite as bad for him.
Definitely not as bad as we look at the bumper cam, the nose cam of the number 7 of Doug's car. Looking ahead, you see Aaron Smith in the 70, currently up to third. Oh, you see the second place of Neal. He got a little squirrely there out of turn number 4. That's going to allow Smith to pull up alongside him on the outside.
It's also going to let the 17 scoot away from the rest of the field here. That was unfortunate there for the second place, but, I mean, it happens.
Look at Steve Tucker in that 24 machine, currently running in 5th. Brandon Holder in 6th there in the 31. He gets a good run off the turn, down the back straightaway. Holder to the inside of Tucker. As they head into turn number 3, give it to Holder for that 5th position.
Holder in the 5th position, trying to keep up to the back of. Scratch that. I was looking at the wrong 2 cars there.
Doug Nibbigan
I'm like, wait a minute, that's the wrong number.
Mikey Neal Jr. into 8. There's a battle for 3rd and 4th on the track. Look at the 7 of Doug. You know, he had to think twice about it. He thought about going to the inside of him as they go into turn number 3 there. Doug all the way against the inside line as they exit turn number 4. Michael Sturgill Jr. coming to 20 to go here at Auto Club. What a race these drivers have put on.
What a race indeed. These drivers have been aggressive. They've been calm. They've been aggressive. They've been calm again. And right now, 20 to go, Steve. I am shocked to see it, but they're calm again.
They are. They're kind of strung out here at Auto Club. Especially the top 2. They pulled away from 3rd and 4th.
Shades of what we saw earlier with Mullins and Smith pulling away from the field. This time it is going to be Sturgill and Smith. Smith looks, I still say he's just sitting back. Looks like he's biding his time right now, saving on his tires, hoping for Sturgill to wear his out sooner.
Absolutely, but Aaron is on his way to catch Michael for sure. He's getting closer and closer every lap.
So if you're Aaron right now, you're sitting in the car, you know you're running out of time, you're running out of laps. Do you go for it now? Or do you slow? You know, last night we saw a bump and run for lead, and now Aaron Smith coming down pit road.
I am surprised to see that one. I would have thought
Also
they
Fred
could
Farmer.
make it to the end. I would have thought they could make it to the end, but maybe they can't. And Aaron Smith is looking to get that early pit stop and get on the track and make up the ground before Sturgill goes into the pits. If he's able to make up that ground before Sturgill has to pit, if Sturgill does have to pit, that's going to put favor back into Aaron Smith's hands once again.
And there he leaves pit road, going back onto the track. Right now, there he is into turn number 1. There is Michael Sturgill Jr. crossing the start-finish line. So Aaron Smith mirrored back into 17th position after that pit stop. Mikey Neal Jr. in second now in the 8 machine with Doug Newbegin in third, and Brandon Holder and Steve Tucker, your top 5. Steve Tucker up 24 positions. He has a little bit of nose damage there, Bryce, but looking good.
Absolutely, yeah, that nose damage doesn't like it's harming that vehicle at all. You might have a little bit notice it whenever he's in clean air, but he's fine now. He's looking good. The car's driving fine. He's in good shape.
As you see more drivers, look at there.
I was just going to say, I would love to see the pit crew of that number 24 machine, because earlier we saw him and he had no front clip at all.
Yeah.
Now he's just got a slightly tore up one. They must have took that thing off the car, took it behind the wall, and beat all the dents out of it, and he come back in, zip tie that son of a gun on there, and get him back out there.
These cars do come in 3 different sections. You have your front clip, middle in your cab, and then you have your rear clip. So they might have went back to the shop there and pulled out the all one of fast fluid across the country and put the new front clip on. You never know.
Well, you got to wonder right now, is Michael saving gas? Because there's Mikey Neal Jr. in the 8 machine, closing up on your race leader there, along with Doug Newbegin there in third.
And a good way to find that out is if you go on a cockpit view, and if you listen to the motor and you hear the motor going completely dead, that means he's riding neutral around the turn, which means he has the clutch pedal down and he's just coasting around the corner.
And let's look at the driver inputs. Really off the gas there.
Yeah, he just letting the car travel, it looks like. Lifting early and letting it travel.
Does not look as though he's clutching, or as we saw last night, one of the drivers last night literally coming off of the throttle, or literally shutting the car off through the turns. Does not look as though that's the case here tonight, but what we do see is Mikey Neal Jr. on entry. He's all the way up, redlining his RPMs. He's driving that car much harder than what Sturgill is up there in the lead. Sturgill was not quite getting near as high in the RPMs down the front straightaway as what we saw Mikey Neal Jr. there. So I would definitely say that he is biding his time right now, saving his fuel and hoping that he can make it to the finish here.
Yeah, this is going to be turning into a fuel mileage race at its finest here. These cars, they chug gas like a diesel truck, so they're not very fuel efficient. So we'll see how this ends up.
Definitely right now, Michael Sturgill Jr., your race leader in the 17. The 8 of Mikey Neal Jr., Doug Dubig in your top 3. You got Steve Tucker, Casey Barlow, your top 5. Landon Huffman, Mo Abbott, Jonathan Cogswell, Alex Huffman, and Nicholas Nugel there in your top 10. Then 11th is Brandon Zimmerman, Ryan Campbell, Aaron Smith, and Brandon Holder, your top 14, all on the lead lap.
These just a handful of drivers currently sitting on the lead lap. The 70 of Aaron Smith just barely on the lead lap right now. Aaron Smith is going to have a lot of work ahead of him, especially if Sturgill does not pit. If he's able to save his fuel enough to make it to the end and not pit, Smith's going to have his hands full to make it back around or to him.
Well, coming to 11 to go here at Auto Club for the Auto Club 250. Michael continues to lead in the 17. Neal in that second spot. And a little further back is that 7 of Doug Dubingen there in third.
Absolutely. I just kind of did some mental math in my head here. If he pit on lap 96 out of lap 125, it means you have 29 laps to go when you pit. It means you have to save because you are outside your fuel window if that's the case. Could you get about 20, if I remember right, my notes, 21 to 24 laps.
Well, you look at it right there, last pit stop on lap 96 for Michael Sturgill Jr. And if we look right there at the 70 of Aaron Smith, his last pit stop was at lap 107.
Aaron Smith, one of the most recent drivers to pit. David Farmer pitted right there with him, but David Farmer is still a lap behind. He's not been able to unlap himself in that number 84 machine. So he's going to be mired back from pitting earlier. Aaron Smith is doing everything he can to get up there. Right now going on up front, we have Mikey Neal Jr. closing in once again on our leader of Michael Sturgill.
Michael is really letting off that throttle, letting that car really settle down. He is not getting on that throttle to about the middle of turn 2 and turn 4.
Well, you're looking at the bumper cam of Mikey's car there, looking to the outside. Getting close up against that wall. Side-by-side action coming to the line with 8 laps to go here at Auto Club. Sturgill Jr. to the inside, Neal to the outside, side by side into turn number 1. Here comes Neal Jr. out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. He will take the lead from Michael. Oh, wow, we saw it coming. We saw him back off a little bit. Then he closed up with 8 laps to go.
Look at the big gap that gains between the two drivers on entry, showing just how much Sturgill is backing that car up into the corner, saving fuel, possibly saving tires, or maybe his tires are actually even worn down to an uncomfortable point, and that's the reason he's backing those corners up. But he's definitely going to be sitting back praying right now, hoping that Mikey Neal Jr. either burns his up, runs himself out of fuel, or is just flat out not going to make it to the end. While Sturgill is definitely, without a doubt, sitting back and saving his fuel right now.
Absolutely. These two are playing a huge gamble on their fuel mileage. Anyone that pitted before lap 100 is playing a huge gamble in their fuel mileage right now.
Well, this race has just been over 2 hours and 10 minutes long with 6 laps to go here at Auto Club. Mikey Neal Jr. starting to pull away from Michael Sturgill Jr. And then you have Doug Newbegin there, right there in third in that 7th position. And a little further back is the 25 of Casey Barlow. He's in that 4th position. Then you got Steve Tucker in the 24 car, currently mirrored in 5th, with Jonathan Cogswell right there in 6th. So the field is struck across this track at the close of the stages as we are fixing to come to the buck kicker. 5 laps to go.
Here it comes. We're having to start people who have not pitted yet are starting to come down the pits. We have Casey Barlow. We have Steve. I think another one just called out. Here they come. So I'm talking about now they're starting to, the gambles are not paying off. So now you see Aaron Smith, he put on a 107. He's in prime spot. Everyone here above him should have to pit. He is in prime spot.
Going back to your race leader, Mikey Neal Jr. He's up 20 spots at the start of this race. And look how much Michael Sturgill Jr. has fallen back from your race leader. You got to wonder, is he fixed to come into pit road, or is he going to stay out for the rest of this race?
He's saving 1,000%. He's trying right now. He's talking with his team. He's trying to decide how much fuel he has left over in his tank, maybe to get into this race, but he has to save more than he is now.
Mikey Neal Jr. way out.
Leader is pitting.
All right, so we see that the 8 machine down the back straightaway. He's called it out. He's going to pit this time. Coming to 3 laps to go. If you're Michael Sturgill Jr., you're saving. You're going to try everything. As you see right there, Mikey Neal Jr. pulling down pit road as Michael Sturgill Jr. takes the race lead in that 17 machine. And directly behind him, look at Doug Newbegin there in 2nd. Looking to this inside, new race leader out of turn number 1.
It's a great pass for the lead there. Absolutely beautiful.
If you're Sturgill here, you're doing more than just clutching. You're reaching over and you're hitting that I key, the ignition key, on your keyboard to shut that car off.
The leader just came over the radio, and he is pitting as well. Leader is pitting.
All right, and look at Sturgill. He stays out this lap as Doug goes into pit road. We're coming to 2 to go. And he's really off that throttle, trying to save every inch of fuel he can. I mean, look at the driver input. Earlier we saw squiggly lines all over it. Look how flat it is.
Absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
He is absolutely riding around more than likely half to 3/4 throttle on all straights right now. He is probably letting off way early going into turns and getting on the throttle way late. And also, you have to pay attention. Aaron Smith is currently in 4th place. So keep that in mind as well.
He is, as Landon Huffman in 2nd, Alex Huffman in 3rd. Here we come to the white flag. 1 more lap to go for Michael Sturgill Jr. Can he hold on to win tonight? As you look a little further back, there's Landon Huffman going into turn number 1. There is your race leader coming out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway for the final time.
Huffman getting about a 1.5 seconds per turn on Michael Sturgill. This gamble, is it going to pay off? Does Huffman have enough time? Is he rolling through turns number 3 and 4 right now? 3.5 seconds separating them. Sturgill's going to have to actually get on the gas here to hold on to it.
Michael's putting. He's skipping.
Coming to the line, give it to Michael Sturgill Jr. picking up the win. Alex Huffman comes home second. Or Landon Huffman, comes home second. Alex Huffman in third. Aaron Smith will come home in seventh with Mikey Neal Jr. picking up a top 5 tonight. And look at there, your race leader getting the push. Because he's going to need to come down pit road.
Michael Sturgill, 100% out of fuel as he passed the pit road entrance. That car sputtered and shut off as he passed the pit road entrance. Landon Huffman, being the good sport that he is, agreed to give him a push back around to the line for the post-race photos, for post-race celebration. Not going to be much of a celebration without any fuel in the car. What a class act from Landon Huffman, and what an impressive display of ability and driving smarts out of Michael Sturgill Jr. tonight to come home with the win.
Well, is this something you expected there?
Absolutely.
I think
You expected. I didn't. I mean, I thought he would run out of gas, to be honest, but he did one heck of a save. Let's go through your finishing results here. At Auto Club, Michael Sturgill Jr. coming home with the win. Landon Huffman in second. Alex Huffman in third. Aaron Smith in fourth. Mikey Neal Jr. comes home fifth. Brandon Holder in sixth. Casey Barlow in seventh. Ryan Campbell in eighth. Ninth is Kyle Hardy. And 10th is Steve Tucker.
Then it's going to be Doug Newbigging, Brandon Zimmerman, Michael Noggle, Jonathan Cogswell, Mo Abbott, David Farmer, Matt Grenier, Scott Fritz, Frankie Barroso, James Mullinger rounding out your top 20.
Then 21st on back, we got Brian Terry, Gabriel Ellison, Gregory. Carico, thank you. Peyton Strickland, Jason Bridges, Chris Month Jr., Ryan Joyner, and James Seawright.
That's your finishing results tonight of the Auto Club 250. We're fixing to have post-race interviews, I'm sure, with excited man. In just a few moments' time, Michael Sturgill Jr. picking up tonight's win here at Auto Club.
I'm still mind-blown how I was able to save that much fuel. Absolutely. That was unbelievable.
So let's do this. Coming home with the win, Michael. Congratulations. I mean, you had all of us really scratching our heads there at the closing laps.
Yeah, my fuel calculator kept saying I was like 0.5 to 0.9 bad. So, started shutting her off there in 1 and 2 and was just praying that it would work. And then coming out of 4 on the final lap, I was sputtering, but I had enough time back to second and third to make it.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, you had a lot. There was a lot going on tonight, that's for sure. I mean, that turn 4 was treacherous.
Oh, yeah. 3 and 4 was dangerous, especially on fresh tires. When these cars are on cold, fresh tires, they're a handful.
Definitely they are. Go ahead and thank those fine sponsors making it all possible for you tonight.
RS Button Boxes, this is on the car, Finley, Shady Designs, all the guys at Lucky Ducks, John, everyone who puts the league on, Jason, and all the admins, and you guys for broadcasting it.
All right. Congratulations on picking up your win tonight, sir.
Thank you.
All right. That was Michael Sturgill Jr. picking up the win. BJ Duvall, I believe you have caught up with our second place finisher tonight.
That's right, I have caught up with our second place finisher of Landon Huffman. Landon, what a recovery you had to come back in that number 40 machine and finish second after Steve, I'm going to blame it on Steve here, caused you to get loose there off turn number 4 and wreck it there. How difficult was it to recover from that and come back up through?
Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't really know if I was gonna have an opportunity to still run good, but I was definitely just gonna keep it in there and try my best. But it was crazy. I was really surprised Michael was able to save that much fuel, because I thought that I had it won with about 5 to go, because I was barely making it. I didn't see anybody else was gonna make it, but that was definitely really fun.
Well, you definitely managed to be able to do it there in the number 40 machine. You brought it home in second. You were gaining through turns number 1 and 2 on that last lap alone. You gained over a second and a half on Michael's coming through that last lap. How confident were you that you were going to be able to catch him?
Yeah, I saw my spotter was telling me it was checking up a lot, so I ran it as hard as I could the last lap, but it wasn't enough. It was really close. I'm pretty sure we ran him down from like 8 seconds to 2 seconds right there in the last lap, but it was crazy.
Absolutely, you were absolutely moving tonight. Congratulations on your second place finish. Now's your chance to thank your sponsor. Shout out to everybody who makes it possible.
Oh yeah, I gotta thank Matthew Beeman Racing and Matthew Beeman for having this team for us to run, and Mason Laster Motorsports for sponsoring us, and I just really gotta thank James Seawright. He was the whole reason I was even up there at the end, because without him I probably would have done something different and we wouldn't have finished second, but I just gotta really thank him, and I gotta thank Garrett Pick, Peyton Strickland, Ryan Joyner, all those guys for everything they do, and I gotta thank the guys back at the shop, Timmy Holmes, Dakota Todd, Jackson Crowder, Michael Baumgartner, and yeah, that's probably about it.
All right, real quick before I let you go, Alex Huffman came home in third. I gotta ask the question: what is the relation between you two, or is there a relation between you guys?
No, there's not.
No relation.
Nah.
All right. Well, the question was asked. Congratulations again on your second place finish, and hope to see you back here next week.
Thank you.
Actually, we got next week off, so whenever we get back here.
At
Yeah, thank you.
Texas.
Yeah. All right. And I believe, Bryce, you've caught up with Alex Huffman, our third place finisher?
Absolutely. Alex, how do you feel about your third place finish tonight?
Kind of mad I didn't stick to landing a little bit more on that last run. I started saving as soon as I could. I saved probably too much and it bit me. I had 2 laps to the good there coming across the line, and I just kind of wish I pushed a little bit harder to hopefully maybe get a little bit more closer gap to Michael as well, who, Jesus, I don't know how he saved that much.
Yeah, that was surely impressive. And after those earlier incidents you were involved in, how did you manage to fight through like all that damage to be where you're at tonight?
Well, it wasn't much damage, just a lot of self-inflicted pain on myself, looping it in front of the pack. Luckily Michael avoided me. I mean, heck, we both overcame quite a bit this race. He missed me. It gave me about 25 seconds of damage through netcode, fixed it, and then just started conserve mode, save my car, and try to stay near the front as much as I could, but I wasn't anywhere close there to the end. I think I restarted like 18th, stayed there, and through pit cycles ended up third.
Well, real quick, Bryce, let me mention this. Alex, you was part of my curse tonight. When I said,
yeah, I heard it.
So, I mean, you were part, but in my defense, several drivers were in my curse.
Oh, I heard it. I heard Kyle's name too. Next thing you know, I saw him in the wall in front of me. I was like, uh-oh, commentator's curse.
Absolutely. Speaking of curses, do you think, well, let me rephrase that. Turn 4 seemed to be everyone's curse tonight. How were you able to manage turn 4?
I wasn't able to. You saw me spin it. It's just all about throttle control, and especially on cold tires, when they're super cold, you ain't got a bunch of air pressure built up, so it just feels like it rolls over on that right rear a lot more on the exit there. And until it gets built up, you just got to start playing with the throttle. A lot of throttle control, like you would do on dirt. I mean, you just got to manage it and keep that wheel smooth as you can. Any sudden moves, it'll loop it. And also, you don't want to push too hard, because once you pass that limit of that sidewall, that tire on low pressure, it'll go around on you.
Absolutely. Well, do you have any sponsors or teammates you want to shout out tonight?
Well, I got to thank Mikey for kind of hanging out with me there. I ain't got no teammates, but good to see him have a good run till he got spun and collected. Congrats to Michael, of course. Congrats to Landon on second. I felt like it was going to be a Huffman versus Huffman showdown there, but I saved too much. Kinder Performance, Bluegrass Iracing Series. Jason, of course, putting this on. You guys up at UDTV for putting this on. Been pretty good broadcasting. Glad I finally got up in the booth for y'all already.
Yeah. I will say this. Me and Alex got to spend a little time last week, and I will say I have the pictures you see at the beginning of the broadcast of the truck, the car, and the Xfinity car and the Cup car. Alex did those for us, and thank you, sir.
Okay. Oh, and I can't forget to shout out Deb at Old School Diecast. She always watches these races, so.
Definitely. Congratulations on your third place finish tonight.
Thank you.
Well, guys, we end the week with the Bluegrass as they take off next week, and then we head back the week after to Texas. Thrills, spills. Do we expect any unexpected violence?
Yeah. I've just recently done a little bit of racing at Texas myself, and yeah, we definitely do.
And Texas races a lot differently on the sim than it does in real life, so I expect the racing to be phenomenal in 2 weeks.
So we got two different sides. We got one says thrills and spills, one says phenomenal. Only time can tell. That means you have to tune back into Ultimate Dirt TV to find out who will conquer Texas not next week, the week after, here on Ultimate Dirt TV. Well, guys, it's been great having y'all here tonight, keeping me company. I'm Steve McMillan with Bryce Hunter, Will Duvall. We're going to sign off and say good night, God bless, and have a safe weekend.